No drummers are ever harmed during the broadcast of Live from My Drum Room. So we're a very drummer friendly show here, so you don't have to worry about that. Jeff Woods, John rules. Both Johns rule, for that matter. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Well, I'm going to speaking of Johns, I'm going to bring Johnny Tempesta on. I told him it'd be probably about 5 past, but I'm going to see if he's ready now and bring him on. We'll get things started here today. The less I talk right now, the better the show will be. I promise you. So, all right. All right. Well, I do, again, want to thank everybody for tuning in today. It looks like we have a good group of folks watching already, which is great. And with that, please welcome my very good friend, longtime friend, John Tempesta, who I think could be muted. Already lots of great. There he is. All right.
Johnny T.
Johnny T.
What's up, my brother?
It's so good to see you, my brother. I know. I miss that. I miss that greeting that we have whenever we see each other. The first thing is Johnny D. And I go, Johnny T.
With the hugs and all, right?
I know, man. I know.
We go way back. Yeah.
Go way back. And you're going to be one of the only guys, when I see you, one of the only guys I'm going to hug, because I'm not going to hug a lot of people from now on, but I'm going to hug you.
I don't blame. Oh, thank you, man. I miss hugging you.
I miss hugging you too, brother. It's so good to see you.
You too.
We got a lot of folks watching already, and Bob Sidlowski,
Bob,
Bob put up a picture. I don't know if you saw it on Facebook of you in a Sonar ad.
That's right. That was my first endorsement, my first ad and everything. And Bob really took care of me back then. That was 1990.
It was.
There it is.
There it is. And he guessed it. I said, "Do you any idea what year?" And he thought it was 1990. So yeah. Look at that.
Look at Nico. They got Talberg. I mean, they got all the guys up here. Simon and Bobby Rock. Yeah.
I know. Look at that. And there you are. Not much different other than the goatee.
Skinnier.
Yeah, I don't know that you could be any skinnier than you are, but I think you're right. I think you were skinnier.
Well, I was a lot younger too, man. So wow, yeah, that's a blast from the past, and I still have that kit. As a matter of fact, I love that drum kit.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. And do I see you were playing Peisty at that time? I think
at the time I was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember when you came on to Zildjian. If I remember this correctly, but I believe it was Brent Anderson who signed you at the West Coast office.
Mike Morris.
It was Mike Morris. Okay.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. It was Mike. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Actually, yeah. I know Mike from years prior through Marco Sicoli. So, and we were at a barbecue at Lindsay's house in North Hollywood. Like everyone was there. It was Mike, it was Lindsay, and the Rich Magicaro. It's all hanging out. And, so I said, yeah. He says, come by the office in Studio City, the old office, and I picked out a bunch of stuff, and I wound up using them on the recording of a Testament Low record, and I loved them. Yeah.
And what year was that, Johnny? If you had to guess, you don't.
1993.
93. Okay. All right. Because I feel like the first time I met you in person, I knew who you were, obviously, and I was a big fan of your playing, and I was so psyched when you came to Zildjian, and I want to say it was around 94 at a Joe Hibbs gig in the Valley when Joe used to play in that blues band in North Hollywood.
Yeah, and is it that place?
Was it Burbank?
Cheese or something? Wait, a Studio Suite, was that it in North Hollywood?
It could have been. It was like a kind of like a, not a biker, but sort of like a cowboy sort of spot. Yeah.
Oh man, wow. Oh, Joe, he's the best.
I know. Another, rest in peace. And I was there with Kurt Biscara. Kurt and I went out. I think we might have had dinner, and then Joe was like, come see my band. And you were there, I think, by yourself, and we hooked up and met. And I think he got us up to play that night. And I never would do that, but you couldn't say no to Joe.
Oh no, come on, get up there, my brother.
Yeah, get up there and play. I know. Yeah, and it was like instant. You just like this.
We had some fun times back then, man. Yeah,
I know.
Asanebo, remember those hangs back then?
Oh, God, yeah. And for anybody watching, if you don't know who Joe Hibbs is or was, he was a great friend of John and I, worked in the drum industry a long time, most notably at Tama Drums for many years. Probably signed you, John, I'm guessing.
He did. Yes, he did.
Signed you to Tama.
I known Joe before that, before he signed me working for Charlie Benanti. And I drove out to Pennsylvania to pick up his first Tama kit in Ben Salem back then.
Wow.
So that was 1987. Oh.
Well, I made a note about you
Yeah.
working for Charlie and kind of,
Mhm.
breaking into the pro side of it. So
Yeah.
talk about that, because that's a huge. I don't know how many people know that. I guess they could find out if they look your bio up or something. But that's huge, because that you went from transitioning from Charlie's drum tech to being like his contemporary.
It's funny. It's like I wasn't planning on it. It was actually a joke at first. Charlie was like, "Why don't you come on? Why don't you come on the road with us?" And I was in the band at the time, and our singer had left, and it was difficult trying to find someone. And Charlie was like, "Dude, he knows how much I love drums, and I know everything about it." So he was like, "Yeah, you'd be perfect. Come on tour, a lot of laughs." And I was like, "Okay." So I did it for 2 weeks. Went to Europe, right, and I was opening up for Metallica on Master of
Oh,
Puppets when Jason Newsted just got into the band. After
yeah.
Cliff had died, and so I was like, this is amazing. I'm hanging out with my friends. And Frankie, Charlie's nephew, I'm not sure if you know, it's his nephew, is the bass player. And we
Yeah.
went to
Yeah.
high school together. We were in the jazz band together. So, and right from there, it was like the best time of my life. I'm still young. I'm out of my parents' house. I'm traveling the world. I'm making a living. I'm making money. I'm seeing the world. And it was great. So and the next month later, we went to Japan. I was like, I loved it, man. And I did a lot of great tours with Kiss back then, Iron Maiden, and so many bands and festivals. And then until I got the call, actually, it was Exodus on the Headbangers Ball tour. They see me sound checking drums. And I always say the next best thing to playing is if you could tech, you're out there, you're meeting
Yeah.
people, and they're watching you play. And that's how I got the gig. They were like, their drummer, Tom, couldn't do the tour. So they asked me, I don't play this type of music. I wasn't that type of drummer. Working for Charlie definitely helped me out. And so I was like, hey, man, why not? I gave it my best shot, and I learned the songs, and yeah, I got the
And
gig.
then,
And our first show was at L'Amour's in Brooklyn, my hometown. We
oh
didn't go on until
man.
like 1:30 in the morning. I was a nervous wreck. But right from there, I did the tour, and they had asked me to join the band. And that's how it all started. And I got the Sonar deal, and, we were managed by Bill Graham Management. And so talked to Bob Sadlowski, and that's how it all happened. So
Wow,
that was a
man.
couple of years. And then after that, Testament had asked me to join. It was the same scenario. Testament opened up for Anthrax, and I knew it. I actually knew them before Exodus. Same thing. They see me sound check. So yeah, and from there, that's how it all snowballed, man.
That's incredible. I mean, it's so cool that it happens so organically too. Like
Hmm.
I mean, not to say, like, so many guys, as go out there and like slug it out for years just trying to find that, and it just sort of fell. It just
It,
happened for you. Yeah.
being at the right place at the right time, and I always say
Yeah.
that. There's a lot of drummers who were techs. For one, Nick Menza, rest in
Yeah.
peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was. It was right around the same time he had joined Megadeth, and I had joined Exodus. So it was funny. Like we were talking, it was 1989. Yeah,
Yeah. I know, Nick. I know we're talking about all these old friends that
I know.
aren't
Yeah.
with us, but another guy that comes to mind is Mike Fazano too, who is still with us.
Mikey boy.
Our
Yeah.
good old buddy, another
Hmm.
nice Italian boy who I remember as a tech for Tommy Lee and a million guys, and now
Yeah.
I think he's still playing for Warrant, or he was for a while. But
No, Mike's got his
Mike,
own band. Oh God, I'm sorry, Mike.
yeah.
Yeah, he's doing really well, man. And he's right across the street from me, by my drum room at Mates over there in the
Oh,
valley.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And Mike and I, we used to share a drum room together. Well, I had a rehearsal room with Helmet, and we got Mike in there to share some of the room.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Great
Well, I'm
guy,
gonna
man.
read. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a great guy. Great guy. And there's a whole bunch of people commenting. I'm gonna just read you a couple things here. Bob's watching. Cool. Bob
Hey,
Sadlowski's
Bob.
watching. Hey, Bob. Zach Dumas, love John's playing. Yeah, you're such a badass, Johnny. Let me just say
Oh,
that right now. I don't,
yeah.
people know that, but I want to just say it because I want to just say it. Besides being one of the nicest guys I know, you're just a motherfucker.
Thank you, man. Yeah. I like beating stuff up. No, drums. That's what we do, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna jump around. I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
jog your memory. I started making like notes this morning at breakfast, and I was thinking, you played at the NAMM show one year. Tama had a big party at the Marriott
Oh,
Ballroom. Do you remember that?
yeah, with
And did
Simon
Charlie
Phillips.
play? Simon Phillips like was the sort of closer, I think, right?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
played before him.
Well, yeah, he had asked a bunch of drummers,
Okay.
well, yeah, Ronald Bruner, and Keith,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then Charlie, and me and Charlie worked something out together. Dude, I
Yeah.
was so freaking nervous.
I
Like,
remember.
you know how Simon is, and you're playing with, I was like, "Ooh." But it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad I got to do it. And especially playing with Charlie, like someone I grew up with and worked for, and we're doing this together for Simon. We're such huge fans, so
I
it was a
forgot that
blast.
it was Simon's sort of like he was the of course
But,
organizer of it. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
30th anniversary with Tama.
oh, so what year would that have been then? Was that like 2010 maybe, or
Yeah, I would say that's
maybe
pretty
around there?
accurate around there. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I gotta say, I swear I told you this at the time, and I'll say it again. And there's probably a tape somewhere, but or recording. You played one of the best drum solos I've ever heard anybody play, and
What?
yeah, you did. You played. You kind of went
Oh,
to
thank
another
you.
level. Do you? I mean, is there like a recording of that somewhere?
I
There
believe
must
it's
be.
on YouTube.
All right, I would tell people to look for that because and I hope I don't eat my words on this, but I know I won't. You went to this other level, and you told me afterward that you were really nervous and
Yeah.
that you really shedded, like you really worked it,
Mhm.
and which made perfect sense because you don't want to go there and not be prepared, but it really showed because you played this awesome drum solo.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, it was great because Charlie was in town for a couple days, and we worked something out together.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it
and
was
Charlie
fun.
too. Yeah, I mean he's such a
Oh.
great drummer. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Well, that's so cool, man. Another. I'm going to just read a couple of things here. Then I'm going to tell another story that I think you're going to remember. But,
Okay.
um, oh, Matty Roberts, two of the nicest guys in the
Ah,
business.
he's fun. He's a cool
He's
guy. We did a great podcast together.
yeah, he's a
Mhm.
great guy. He's been really helpful to me, just showing me the ropes. Thank you,
Okay.
Matty, for tuning in. Um, yeah, a lot of folks watching here. This is great. Um, oh, Bob Sidlowski says, ask John about his Cozy Powell addiction. Well, I was going to
Oh.
mention Cozy
Yeah,
because
I'm a
I know
nut.
about
Yeah.
you.
Actually,
You have
Bob sent me his killer poster last year of Cozy, so I have it in my drum room. Yeah.
oh, cool.
When he was with Yamaha. Well, it was a Yamaha ad actually. It's a great poster. It's hard to find. So yeah, I
Yeah.
have Cozy sticks. I have 2 pairs of his drumsticks. That actually the late great Ted McKenna, from Rory Gallagher, Michael Schenker, and all. I mean,
Yeah.
incredible drummer. I was in Scotland, Glasgow, and we have mutual friends. We had lunch together, and knowing I'm a Cozy freak, later that evening after lunch, he came with my friend's pad. He brought his practice pad and we played, and he brought me a pair of Cozy sticks that Cozy gave to Ted, and he handed them down to me. So that's real special.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
And you got to meet him, right? Did you
I
get to meet
did
him?
not, and
You
I'm
didn't.
so pissed because of that. We were on tour with White Zombie, and Reverend Horton Heat, my buddy Scott Chirilla, from Reverend Horton Heat, they opened up for us, and they were at a different hotel. Now, this is before cell phones. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
he goes, dude, you never know, you're never gonna believe who we hung out with. Black Sabbath. I was hanging with Cozy at the bar. I'm like, you don't,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't want
Instead
to
of
talk
being
to
happy
anybody.
for him, you're like
No,
pissed.
yeah,
Well,
no.
I got to meet him I think I told you the
Oh,
story one time, purely by just luck and happenstance. He was playing with, I think he was playing with ELP,
mm-hmm,
Emerson Lake and Powell, and
mm-hmm.
they were opening for Page Plant, which had Michael Lee playing
Yeah,
drums. Does that
love
sound right?
Michael.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Michael. Another God, we're talking about all these guys that are gone now, but Michael was so young. But this would have been like the mid 90s, I
It
think.
was. It was probably 90 because I seen the ELP show, but they
Yeah.
headlined that one. And I did see Page and Plant, and we played a big festival down there, like not Rock and Rio, but Hollywood Rock.
Yeah.
And they played the day before us, and I actually have it on 8mm. When you're in the old cameras, the video camera, I
Yeah.
still have it on side of stage with Michael and them playing. I have to transfer that, man, if it's still working. So
Yeah.
So,
Well, he said to me, "Do you want to meet Cozy Powell?" And I went like, "Oh my God, are you kidding?" I didn't ask. And he brought me back and I met Cozy and he's like is the same height as you and me. It was like like totally you probably knew that. I did not know that. I expected him to be like a big
no,
dude.
no.
But
I knew it
little,
was around our height, but he played like a
oh
powerhouse,
my
man.
God, yeah, yeah. And really super fit, really nice, just laid back guy. And just shook his hand and just yeah, so great.
I heard really nice things about him. It's unfortunate, but it's a great memory, and I have his sticks, and I actually own half of his drum kit too from
I thought,
Whitesnare.
yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you had like some other memorabilia. So
yeah.
that's
Oh
really
yeah,
cool.
Cozy's always there, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, listening back, I always trip on him. He did so many great recordings in the Jeff Beck group, man. That's some of his best playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo. Yeah.
I know. Amazing. Well, anyway, a couple other things it's kind of like, this is your life, John Tempesta.
All right.
I don't know if I think you might remember this. So when you guys I think it was Rob Zombie, I don't know if it was White Zombie or Rob Zombie, you guys played Ozfest in 2002. I looked up the year, and it was you guys, Ozzy, obviously, with Mike Borden playing drums, and System of a Down.
John
Delmeyer.
That was Rob Zombie. Yeah.
It was Rob Zombie. Okay.
I'll tell you something funny, because John Delmeyer, real quick, and we look the same, because I shaved my head back then and John had to shave that, and we're both named John, so we used to fuck with everybody. It was great. Yeah.
Well, at that time, my daughter Danielle, who I know isn't watching this, was the biggest System of a Down fan in the world, like obsessed with the band.
Yeah.
And John is a Peisty guy. John Delmeyer is a Peisty guy. So I was coming to see you and Mike, and so I had it in to come to the show, and I brought my daughter with me, and I just had hoped maybe there'd be an opportunity to introduce her to maybe John or just some of the guys in the band. And you and Mike were unbelievable. And I want to say, was Timmy Doyle there teching for?
Yes, he was for Mike. For
Mike. Okay, Timmy. And who was Feely your tech? No. Chris Scott? No.
That was Andy Emilianowski back then. Andy O, who's
Andy O.
stage
Okay,
manager
Andy O.
for the Stones and everything now.
Yeah, I know. I remember Andy O, of course. Okay, I just remember like both of you guys had awesome techs, needless to say, that were that were old friends, the nicest guys. And I thought Timmy D was there. And you sat us down on stage, like I remember behind your drums. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And we watched your show from behind, and I think we watched Ozzy later, but you introduced us to John, and he wasn't happy to see me, but
John's funny. He does that stuff on purpose, but he's great. He's a quirky guy. I just seen him 2 weeks ago. They played out here at the Bank of California Stadium with them, Korn, and Helmet. It was amazing.
Wow.
System was just it was great, man.
Great band. Yeah. And my daughter was like, he was not real warm toward me initially because of the history.
Did you have that?
Yeah. And Zildjian had rejected his endorsement earlier, like years before. And it wasn't me, but I was working for Zildjian. So I sort of got the brunt of it. And it was cool. He just sort of had to vent for a minute. And then he was really nice and sweet. He was so nice to my daughter. And then she got to meet all the guys in the band. And anyway, I want to thank you for that, because that was
of course, my pleasure, man.
Yeah.
That was a fun tour. And it was funny, like, Puffy and I, Mike Borden, are the same age. So before I would be playing, he'd come up, he's like rooting for the old guys. We were the older guys back then. Zach Wilde would be there, and it's pretty funny, man.
Oh man, that's so cool. Yeah. Mike's a beast too, man.
Love him.
Love it. Yeah.
Another powerhouse.
Dude. Yeah. This left hand, open hand,
He killed it with Ozzy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at those drums.
Yeah, I know. I got a few drums there. I kept the Star Kit. I'm going to pack that up afterward, because my band is going to actually have a rehearsal tomorrow night for the first time in about 100 years. I'm taking the little Star Kit to rehearse.
That's the old Tom, and the original Tom was right there.
Yeah. How about that?
Is that the 60s, huh?
I think it's late 60s. Yeah, maybe early 70s.
Wow, look at that. I like that premiere kit and the Gretz. Oh man, it looks so cool. This is a great setting. It's just like very inviting. I just want to play on the drums, man.
I was playing for a little while before this, just kind of getting psyched and trying to get a little practice in. So
yeah, John Sorensen told me he sees your band a lot. He said you guys are great, man.
Oh well, thanks. He does come, and it's so funny to see him out there, and I love the guy. We love Big Red.
Miss that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And he'll be out there. He'll be going like, sounds fucking great. Like, thanks, dude.
And you can't miss him either.
Yeah, exactly. And he's kicking ass out there too. He's in a band, and he's out there playing. So
absolutely. And every time we play up in that area or New Hampshire, he comes down with Shane Kenny and stuff. So it's always good to see those guys.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna get out to see you one of these days. I know. You've been in the cult so long now, and I think I saw you one time in the beginning, and I don't.
Oh,
but
wow!
You've come through many times. Yeah.
16 years now, as of last week. So
16 years.
I broke the record.
Yeah.
Out of all the drummers they had. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nobody's come close to that.
It's crazy, right? Well, yeah, I'm sure you're counting the 2 years that we've been sitting around. So, but we're going back out in April. Fingers crossed.
That's
Yeah.
great. In the States or
Yeah, we're starting in the States for a few weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks. And then in May, we're doing a co-headlining tour with Alice Cooper in the UK.
oh
There.
man,
So it's like 6, 7 shows in arenas out there. So that's going to be fun. Yeah.
that'll be awesome, man. That'll
Mhm.
be awesome. So when I met you, I think you were in Testament in the early 90s.
Mhm.
And then from there you went to play with, was it White Zombie first?
White
And then
Zombie.
White
Yeah.
Zombie first. That's what I
Mhm.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you played with Rob right up until, I mean, into the early to mid 2000s probably.
Yeah,
right?
and yeah, I did, and we did like us. That was probably one of the last tours we did, I believe, or maybe another tour after that. And then Rob wanted to take a break from music and concentrate on directing movies. So obviously, being, a drummer, this is my profession, and earn a living, I had to look for something else. So, and that's where Hellman popped up, and a mutual friend of ours from New York introduced us, and Paige was living out here in LA. Always loved Hellman, and we met at the Cat and Fiddle, as a matter of fact. Remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
place? Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, he brought a CD down. Like, I don't even want to listen. Let's just get together in my drum room. Brought a little amp, and we jammed, and just like instantly, we clicked, man. So, and he's
That's
still one of
great.
my best friends, and I just love playing with him. What an incredible musician.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to just show everybody this, show this off. I have this proudly in my office. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Oh man, yeah, that was really special for me. Like, especially obviously when just getting one of these records or anything, it's such an achievement, especially for my family. Getting the first my first gold record, with some, because playing for so many years. My dad always wanted me to go to college and get a degree. I'm like,
Sure.
nah, man, I just, drums were always in my blood, and that's all I ever wanted to do. And it took some time. This is a funny story. My dad, with the Italian accent, Enzo, rest in peace. So he goes, "Are you in the Exodus? Are you in the Testament? What's the next band? The Ten Commandments?" I just think that's so funny.
Oh,
With the accent, though, man.
yeah, yeah.
When I got the zombie gig, and it was great. And then we played in New York. Actually, where we played, Nassau Coliseum in the Meadowlands out there, and he brought some of his guys. He was an airline mechanic to the gig and everything, and it was a big thing for me.
Oh
had the whole
man,
big
he
White
must
Zombie
have been,
production.
yeah, and so proud, to like playing this giant, venue, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, and the production of those shows was like off the
He
chain.
had
It was
no idea what to
crazy.
expect. That
Yeah.
was the best. And you see all this horror stuff and the bombs and explosions. And it's like, what the hell is going on? It was great though, man.
Oh, I know anything you can do to make our dads proud is like this
Yeah.
the best moment of our lives,
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
I want to mention before I forget, my old drum teacher, still one of my best friends, John Spina. He was like my first teacher. Like I was 14 years old in the Bronx, and man, he took me to see like Steve Gadd. Like I was underage, like 15 years old at 7th
Wow.
Avenue South with Richard T. And I seen at the bottom line with what was it? What was man?
wow.
Richard Scott. So what was the keyboard player?
Oh, well, Richard T was
Yeah,
was
Richard T.
yeah.
Yeah, can't anyhow, it was amazing. I've seen Gadd
Yeah.
so many times, and I was telling John that you're good buddies, and and he looked like Steve Gadd. I was a kid, and this was when Asia was the big song back then.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
big influence, and one of my mentors and my dearest friends. So, and I was
That's
like,
great.
wow, Johnny D's, he's like tight with Gadd, and John's friend knows Gadd, and the whole connection. There's a Vinnie Colaiutas and the Rick Moranas, and we got it all over there. And
More
Andy
Italian drum-
Dunbar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole
No,
crew, man.
but that's a great teacher, man. That's so cool that he, that young, he exposed you to Steve and
Mhm.
took you to see him, and that's
Tom
huge.
Scott.
Oh, Tom Scott, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah. And it was amazing. And as a kid that young, and you're seeing Gadd at the 7th Avenue South was like a tiny little room, and
Yeah.
it was a whole different thing from listening to rock or metal, and it's like wow, it just blew my mind. So yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
stuff like that is life changing when you're that young,
Yeah.
and you see somebody like that and that close in that environment. It's like it opens your eyes to like, wow.
Yeah, man. And I met him after the show. I was like, hey, Mr. Gad.
Oh yeah.
So cool. Yeah.
Steve's funny too. I got to just tell you, Jeremy Stacy is watching. He says hello to both of us.
Jeremy.
Jeremy Stacy. Yeah.
Great drummer, great guy. We got to hang out when he was in LA. I got to see him with King Crimson at the Greek and blew my mind. Man.
He's amazing. Yeah. Jeremy's a super talented multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah. Keyboards, the whole deal. Yeah.
The whole deal, the real deal. Good to see you, Jeremy. I was just going to say, Steve's funny too. He remembers, I don't know if he would have remembered years later, like the first time you met him, but he even at that time in his life when he was not always in control of his faculties, he still remembers a lot of like stuff. He remembers certain things that it's pretty interesting that he, you wouldn't think he would. Yeah, it's cool.
He did so many sessions. I mean, how do you keep up with all that back in the day, right?
I know. We'll just start talking about stuff and he'll go, yeah, I think it was like some stuff he'll go, oh, I have no idea what that was, but he'll start remembering people that were there and things that happened. And it's pretty cool to hear him tell stories, but we won't talk about Steve Gadd right now.
John. All right, Steve, you had enough time. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh man. So this is pretty cool that you're going out on tour this year. How long has it been since you've been on? When was the last time you guys were out on the road? The Cult.
Last show we played was in Boston, actually, 2 years ago, December.
Wow.
December 14th, I believe, in Boston.
2019.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. 19. Yeah.
19. Yeah. No, because it's I know. I would have thought, but it's wow.
So crazy, man. We were supposed to go out twice and got canceled. So hopefully this time things are opening up. So.
Yeah.
Very positive about that.
Things are looking good. Things are looking, I feel like that too. And so when I wanted to ask you this before we get off too far off subject though, but talking about your teacher, John, big shout out to John Spina.
John Spina.
So did you learn to read and
yeah, he was teaching me the rudiments and all that, stick control, the pace book and all that. But I was, just that ADD thing. I just wanted to play drums, but he did teach me some reading, but I never fully got into it. So that's when I got into a band, and that was pretty much it from there.
But that's cool, man. You at least got, the rudiments of
the fundamentals.
That's the foundation to it all.
Yeah. Oh, Buddy Rich. Here's my Buddy Rich story, dude. You ready for this one?
I got it.
Remember, he used to play the bottom line, and I've seen him. This is before he passed away, and this, God, man, I'm trying to think the year, maybe 1984, and I mean, he had that big Radio King kit, at the bottom. It wasn't even mic'd up. He just had an overhead mic, And so we seen the show, was blown away, and my girlfriend at the time, he was doing a Q&A thing. So afterwards, she of course she had to get up. It's like, oh, can I have your stick? And would you mind? And he goes, oh, what are you gonna do with that stick? How funny it was. But then afterwards, he gave me this thing. It was Steve Arnold back then, So back there, but Buddy was a character, man, as you know.
Wow. I had Kathy, I had his daughter Kathy on a couple of weeks ago, and we were just we were telling a lot of those old stories, and I got to meet him a couple of times myself, and he was really, really nice. He was
very nice.
Yeah. I think people automatically, I don't want to say they make assumptions, but he can sort of get a little bit of a bum rap about, so he demanded perfection from his band.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, I get that. And
I do. It's a big thing. I have a pair of his sticks though, so that's very special.
Oh, that's really cool, man. You got a collection there.
Dude, I got a stick collection, man. It's like I hate everyone. Like, hey, give me a pair of your sticks. Now I have cymbals. Getting all these cymbals signed. I have like Neil Peart cymbal and like Alex Van Halen and Les Bing. It's great, man. So, but now I need to do a drumstick tray. A whole like frame.
Yeah.
Thing. Like Matt Cameron sent me a pair, and John Spina gave me a pair of Steve Gadd sticks when he played with Stuff. How about that?
So they're like the black Yamaha sticks?
Yeah, and they're all beaten up too, man. Yeah.
Wow.
I have quite a collection, so it's great. I love it, man. I live for this stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Look at you with all the drums back there.
I got a few drum sets. So
now let me ask you about the Gretz Kick, because I told you I had an Aqua Blues Satin Flame kit.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's a early 70s stop
70s.
sign badge.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
and I just got that coming up on a year now. Wow, last spring from a guy
Beautiful.
locally. Yeah, and they're in beautiful condition. The bass drum's a virgin bass drum, never drilled. So
Wow.
it's
All the
all my
hardware too, I see. Yeah.
yeah. I got the lot, a lot of original hardware with it, and it's. I'll
Cool,
probably
man.
use this on my gig next week. I
Oh
think.
yeah? Oh, good.
Trying to decide, or the premiere. I just got the premiere last summer, so
That's
and I've yet
nice,
to
man.
gig with it. So I don't know.
Yeah, man. I kept asking, well, Scott Trullo, the drummer from Reverend Hornet Need. By the way, he's a huge Ainsley Dunbar fan, so he was so excited watching that. And I
Oh, cool.
wanted to try to chime in. Like, I just did a trade with a friend of mine for Ainsley's old Ludwig Coliseum snare drum. I have it now, the 8-inch one, chrome over
Yes.
wood. And I actually bought mine in 1983 at Alex Music in New York City. That I gifted to Charlie Bonanti because he recorded the first 2 Anthrax and SOD record on it. So I'm like, it's like a full circle, you know what I mean? So I got his snare
Yeah.
drum. Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I
Yeah.
know. I saw you posted that. That was Ainsley was funny. After we did our thing last week, I sent him a picture. He was asking about I took him for a little tour around my drum room on Zoom,
Mhm.
and I showed him the Heyman kit in the other room, and he said, "What's the tom holder?" And I showed him the tom holder, and I said, "This is what they call the knuckle breaker, their Heyman tom holder." And he said, "I never had one of those. I had the Rogers mounted on mine." And then I sent him a picture that was in the Heyman catalog that Yard or somebody had of him behind a Heyman kit with that tom holder. And he said, it's classic. He said, "I have no recollection of ever doing that, being in that
Wow.
catalog, doing that photo." He said, "I think they photoshopped me." And I'm like, I don't know if they photoshopped back in those days. I think
Yeah,
maybe they just,
right. Yeah, that's
yeah,
a while ago. But yeah, Scott
yeah,
could tell me. I didn't realize that. But the first Journey record, it was his Heyman kit, single bass, man.
yeah. I
Yeah.
know. I didn't know that either.
It was so fast. Yeah.
I know, amazing. I knew he played Heyman early on, but I
Hmm.
thought by that time he was playing Ludwig. I thought of him as Ludwig up until, I know he plays DW now, but that he
Yeah.
was anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sorry, John.
Angela.
We should be talking about you, not these other
I like
drummers.
bouncing around. I like talking about drummers. Enough of me. So,
I know. No,
all right.
well, speaking of that, I wanted to ask you who some of the other guys. I know I was going to start with Cozy because I knew he was like
Mhm.
a huge influence, but I'm guessing Bonzo and
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many. Simon, Terry Bozzio, and Tony Williams. I got to see John Spina actually took lessons with Tony Williams, man. So,
no kidding.
and I was into that whole like progressive thing, Cobham, and then Barrymore Barlow from Jethro Tull, and Tommy Aldridge, and
Yeah.
Ansley, and yeah, man, just the list goes on. But Ian Pace, all the old great. Joey Kramer, how about that? Remember we
Joey
did that thing
Kramer.
together, the video for
Yes.
Joey? That
Yeah.
was
Yep.
fun. Yeah, he's a
No,
big influence.
and you can see that. And seriously, like in your playing is very well rounded in terms of like your influences. You know what I mean? It's no one could pigeonhole you as like sounding just like this guy or that guy. You know what I mean? Like, and then I think that comes from listening to a lot of different drummers and having a diverse kind of vocabulary, as it were.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Yeah, it's definitely like you always got to broaden your stuff. I mean, I always try to, I was into jazz at one time, the fusion stuff and progressive rock, and not that I
Yeah.
could play that. I always wanted to play like progressive rock, being one of those bands, like because I get into Jethro Tull, man. I seen UK open up for Tull in '79,
Oh yeah. With Terry.
Bozio, and I was like, holy cripes, man, blew my mind. Barrymore Barlow and Terry Bozio on the same bill, so yeah.
Yeah. I
I've seen
know.
some
I know.
great stuff, and it's obviously, being a drummer and developing and just influencing your playing. And I couldn't wait to get home and after seeing a show and getting behind the drum kit. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best.
You like rather than I hear people talk about like seeing Buddy or seeing Terry Bozzio or somebody and like, oh, I wanted to throw away the sticks. But I always when I come home from seeing one of my heroes, I just all I wanted to do is play, like just made
Sure.
me want to, yeah, just it got me psyched. Like, okay, I want to
Yeah.
try some of this shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. I want to just read you some of these comments too.
Sure.
Oh, my friend Christian Thornton, who owns a fabulous restaurant on Martha's Vineyard, the best restaurant, a
Ooh.
Tria. His son is a drummer, just became a drummer at Christmas. He's saying, listening to a novice drummer in my attic right now. Thanks again, Joe. You're welcome,
All right.
Christian.
Play louder.
Hope you're not mad at me. Hoping you and your wife.
Hit them
will.
hard. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if there's any questions here I don't want to miss. Oh, Chris Williams says that your that solo I was talking about with you and Charlie is on YouTube. So gonna
Yeah.
look for that for
Oh,
sure, for
cool,
sure.
cool.
Yeah,
Thanks, Chris.
yeah. And yeah, and Chris also said, love your playing on Impact and Habit.
Exodus.
Yeah, okay, Exodus. Cool, buddy. Cool, cool, cool.
Oh, but you'll like this one. So before I was asked to play with Exodus when they asked me to join the band, Will Calhoun had asked me because, you know, they opened up for Anthrax in the UK. And anyhow, they were late one day for a show, but the gear was there. So I set up his kit like I down. I did, oh, set my drum kit up. And I did. So after they were looking for a tech, he goes, hey, man, you want to come on tour with me? They're opening up for the Stones, a Steel Wheels tour.
89.
So then I got the call for, Exodus. I'm like, oh, it's, teching for Will on the Stones tour, or, obviously got to play. And Will says, yeah, you got to play, man. So that would have been fun, though. Huh?
That would have been really cool. I would have met you then.
That's right. Yeah. Huh?
I had just started at Zildjian. I met Will that few months before that. And I remember going to see them when they came through town. And yeah, well, that would have been a cool, fun gig to at least be part of, if you were still, if a playing gig hadn't come along.
Yeah, meeting Charlie. And so I know you were friends with Charlie. Oh man.
Yeah. He was. Thank you for reaching out too when Charlie passed. I really
appreciate it. Of course,
man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Another influence too, man. Stones. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask. So these gigs. So going from Exodus to, I know how those kind of segued from one to the other. When you got the call to do the Cult, did you go in and audition for that, or was that had they seen you?
Well, I'll tell you, here's another, I have a lot of funny stories. I'm going to write a book, funny stories in the music world or something. So prior to that, when I auditioned, I was asked from Ron Lafitte, who was a manager back in 94, was it? They were looking for a drummer. So I was like real confident. He goes, learn these songs. There was a new song called The Witch that Rick Rubin did. And I was really confident, like, I'm going to get this. So my friend drove me to Third Encore Studios, right? I was all pumped up and I didn't even have a car or something. I don't know what happened. I go to the audition and I see the woman that reset. I'm here for the Cult. She goes, oh, they're not here. I'm like, what do you mean they're not here? She goes, oh, they're done. So no cell phones. I had to go. My friend dropped me off. It's like 100 degrees, in the valley out there.
Oh, yeah.
Had to go find a freaking payphone, get change. I'm like, Ron, what happened? They didn't show up. He goes, oh man, are you kidding me? So, but 13 years later, I got the gig. But you know what? Timing is everything, because if I would have gotten the gig then, I wouldn't have joined White Zombie. And so that was kind of like my big break from there. So it all worked out. 16 years later. Yeah.
And then
funny, right?
So when that gig opened up, was it when you got the gig in 2006, were they familiar with your playing and it was basically like management reached out or
Yeah. My friend Mike Monterulo from TKO, the agency, they were doing the Cult tour. So he had introduced me to Tom Vitorino, the Cult's manager. So you should do this. And I was like, those guys flaked on me 13 years ago. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a go. So they sent me a video and I watched a live DVD with Matt playing. And I was like, all right, okay. But I went in there and it was like, all right, if I got it, cool. I just confident. I just went in there and just, and I loved the Cult. I actually seen them on the Electric tour with Charlie at the Felt Forum. So I was a big fan and I knew their stuff. So, but I just went in there very confident and like, and I guess it was a cattle call back then that like a lot of people auditioned, and it was towards the end and the tour was getting closer to that. So yeah, and they asked me back again to audition, and I got it. It was Valentine's Day of 2006.
Oh, that's so cool.
Week. Yeah.
I think when Matt got the gig, it was a cattle call too, right? That's why I assumed it was, but that's cool. You didn't have to be part of that. You they'd seen a bunch of guys and hadn't made a decision.
No, I just went in there in a small room at Mates and that was it. Yeah. Like, where's he? And he's sitting there. I didn't even recognize the guy, but it was cool, man. I had fun with it too.
That's great. And you've really made it your gig. And you've, like, I won't say you've changed your style, but you adapted your style.
I did. Honestly, with the Cult, it kind of, I wouldn't say made me a better drummer, but it made me more musical, as far as like not bashing. I don't really break cymbals anymore, and I make them sway a bit more. And just my style has changed. So, more swing, I would say, to it. And not just pounding everything. So I was able to, that level. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause nice. I would, their music is exactly conducive to, it's very groovy playing and it's, but not, not like, you still have to put some meat behind it,
Oh yeah,
obviously.
yeah, definitely. when it's called for, the songs definitely. You got to
Yeah.
put that into overdrive over there, kid. Let's go.
Yeah. But like you said, I think the right word is swing too. It definitely
Yeah,
has more swing to it, and
yeah.
it's yeah,
More
it's
dynamics, and that's what Billy, he did teach me a lot about it, because you need to swing this a bit more. And so, I was never that type of drummer, but, in time playing with him for so many years, and I definitely adapted to it. And it works for everyone. My hands don't kill me anymore. I don't really get calluses. But,
yeah.
once you get back on tour, so we'll see how that goes.
And you
It's been a
probably
while, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You'll probably get a few starting out anyway, a few
Hmm.
calluses to kind of get it going. And probably, like you said, you don't break cymbals. Did you kind of change? You probably aren't using cymbals that are as heavy, maybe, as when you're
No,
playing.
I'm playing mostly old Ks now, the sweet Ks, which I love, man. They just
Yeah,
changed everything. Just they just feel like butter, man. And they work perfectly for the cult. They have a nice body to them, and
yeah, yeah,
and they sway. And sometimes I won't even use like the felts on the tops, like Simon does, and just let it sway a bit more.
yeah. Oh,
That's what I
like
noticed,
open
because I
up.
used to
Yeah,
play like freaking, when I played Peisty, I'd have the sonar, with the screws tight, and they'd be like this straight up, and yeah, there's no movement, and that's how you break cymbals easily.
yeah. That's
Mm.
true. That's true.
Live and you
You're right.
learn, right?
But it looks great. I mean,
It looks
I
cool,
love the
man.
way Tommy Aldridge
That's what I
plays.
would say. That's where I got
Yeah.
it from. Tommy. It was all like teased, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
It's a great symmetric sort of look.
Absolutely,
Um,
yeah.
hey, Mike Ferris, this guy can play.
Mikey,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, me too. It's good to see you, Mike. Thanks for tuning in. Boy, a lot of folks watching. Let me just see if there's any questions I might have missed here. Um, Zach Dumas is saying Morgan Rose has his cymbals super tight. I
Yeah, he
remember that.
does. He broke a lot of cymbals. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Is that Zach Starkey's gong? I'm just
It
looking over
is.
there. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see it.
that's I'll tell you the quick story behind that. That's from about the mid '90s. It wasn't actually Zach's, but it was Jody Lynn Scott, who was the percussionist during the Quadrophenia tour in '96, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she cracked that gong. And I went to see her out in Worcester, and I brought her a new one, took the old one back with me, and it sat around in my office for like a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zach came through again without Jody playing percussion, but the Who came through, and I thought, I'm going to see if I can get everybody to sign this gong. And I brought it to a gig to Great Woods, which I think I've seen you at before. Yeah, that's where you were with Ozfest,
Mm-hmm.
and Zach brought it around to all the guys in the band.
How
And John
cool.
Entwistle was still alive at the time and got everybody to sign it. So,
Wow. Yeah, Zach's great, man. We did some shows with the Who in
yeah.
2007 in Europe. And as a matter of fact, about 5 years ago, we opened up for them in Sao Paulo, South America. They've never been down there before in their whole career. So
Wow.
we did, yeah. What a great show that was. Like their soccer stadium. Yeah, it was amazing. And just watching the Who on the side of the stage, Man,
I know.
so much fun. Yeah.
Zach is such a great guy. He's such. I heard from him over Christmas, and they're gonna come through town again in May. I think they'll be, I guess, around the road this
That's
spring.
right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so
Cool.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see him. But Winston Watson is talking to. Do you remember? He's saying Charlie Quintana, rest in
Yes.
peace, introduced me to John years ago. Yeah.
Winston, it sounds familiar. Where did we meet? Was it LA or? Yeah,
Winston
Charlie was a great guy.
Yeah, Winston played with Bob Dylan, rather. Sorry, for many years.
Oh, okay.
So great drummer, and
Oh,
I knew
how
Charlie
you
a long
doing?
time ago. Yeah,
Yeah, he was a sweet guy, man. Yeah, we had some fun hangs.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know he. I mean, I didn't know him personally. I met him a few times, but I think he maybe liked to live
Yeah.
on the high side of life. So
Yeah.
that's
Fortunate, man. Yeah. It's a shame.
yeah. Well, Johnny, you got a lot of good comments here. Winston said, "I always loved your playing, John. I met someone at Converse named Jerry Tempesta."
What?
That's no relation, right?
Oh,
No,
Jerry, no, definitely not.
no.
Well, thank you very much. There are a lot of Tempestas out there. It's weird because I used to go to the phone book. Anytime I toured, I look and see if there's Tempestas out there. But I don't really have much friends. They're mostly in Italy, actually, the Tempestas.
I met a guy named Mike Tempesta who
It's
claimed to
my
be your
brother.
brother. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
You introduced me to him years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Mhm.
there's no mistaking that he's your brother.
Oh yeah.
There's a resemblance there. So when you go out, so what are you thinking you're going to bring out on the road this year for a kit? Do you have like is
Ooh,
it going to be something different? Is it going to be something exciting?
yeah, I'm actually, they should be arriving in a few weeks. So I've waited about a year and I did a really cool color. I basically, I like to base my finishes on car finishes. So like my last kit matched my car and this one's going to be special. And I got a lot of concert toms. So, but I don't know, we're going to mess around with it. You know what I mean? And, once I get them, I'm going to see. Obviously, I'm not going to set up a double bass kit with the Cult, and which would be fun, but I might add some concert toms to the kit.
Cool.
You
Okay.
know?
Like,
Yep.
like sort of, because you've been playing kind of a 1 up, 2 down kind of thing.
No,
for a
on
while.
the last tour, I actually on the Sonic Temple, we did the whole record, and I wound up using it was kind of like a Roger Taylor kit, or Taylor Hawkins does it too, like the 10, 13, 16, 18, and the
Yeah.
14 tom on the left. You know? And when we
Gotcha.
did the Love record, I did concert toms on the left there, like 810, because then Mark Brzezicki stuff, you know, with the little
Yeah.
snare.
Yeah.
I love Mark too. He always comes out to the shows and like, get
Oh
behind the
man.
kit, you play. So no, it's great. Gives me a break. Yeah.
That's great. I haven't seen him in a million years. Great drummer.
I ran into him in Nashville. Actually, when I went there, it was for Joe Hibbs Memorial. They did a whole show over there at the House of Blues, and I
Yeah.
stayed with Chris. And yeah, he was right next door over there. And someone said, Mark just played last night. I was like, what? So I texted him, and he came out, and it was like a whole drummer's hang, you know?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, Jay Weinberg lives there, and like Glenn Sobel was there, and all these Nashville great drummers and stuff, you know, Zach, and yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
That's cool. I didn't realize that Glenn lives in Nashville too. Wow.
I don't know. He
Oh no,
lives out here.
he did. Okay, but he was there. Maybe he was there for Joe's thing, or he was in.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he
Okay.
was because
Gotcha.
he when Joe was at Mapex, Glenn was playing them back then.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah,
I thought he was an LA guy,
yeah,
and he'll be doing the Alice Cooper tour
yeah.
when you guys
That's
do
gonna be
that.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, we'll geek out obviously, so it'll be fun.
that's great. That's great, brother. Well, buddy, I'm just looking to see if there's. I don't want to miss anything.
Oh,
You know,
oh yeah,
kind
go
of.
to. Sorry, I talk too much. Too much coffee, man. I've been up
No.
since
This
5
is
a.m., dude. You know, I gotta make some more
this is good. I want you to talk. I want you to
coffee
keep talking.
talk, coffee drums.
Okay, the new kit. Chris Williams must have some inside info.
Oh
'Cause
yeah, is that Chris from England over there? Yeah,
yeah,
he's
the
cool.
new kit looks
He's a really good drummer, metalhead.
badass. Oh, cool.
Hmm.
Awesome. Zach Dumas is saying, Johnny T, do you remember watching Jim Chapin in the break room at the MD Festival in Montclair? You know, it's the old
Yes,
festival,
I totally remember that.
demonstrating
Yeah.
the Moeller technique on a practice pad.
Yes, I do, man. Wow, that was special seeing that, and Freddie Gruber too, being on the
Yeah.
bus out. You know, all these old cats. It was great being around that. So
I know.
very inspirational, man. Yeah.
It's cool that you're still a young man, but you were around during, like, seeing, Jim Chapin at an AM show or at the MD
Ye-
Festival, or
Met
Freddie
Ed
and-
Shaughnessy, all these great
Oh,
guys.
man.
Hal
Yeah.
Blaine, how about that? You introduced me to Hal.
I remember. I know.
That was a
cool
trip, man.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great photo, man. Thanks for putting that one up. Yeah.
No,
But,
absolutely, buddy. That's,
yeah.
I know. Not to get all nostalgic, but I think about, like, I say this all the time, but how lucky we all were to be, kind of around, even if it was at the tail end of some of these guys, like I got to know Max Roach kind of toward the end of his
Oh,
life,
wow.
and just, it's so, I don't know. I feel like it fulfills a part of the whole drum life, to have known these guys, and at least.
Yeah, you met a lot of great guys, man. Remember the big Zildjian shoots we would do at Center Staging? There was a big one there. I met
Yeah.
Louis Belson then, and
Yeah.
Ainsley Dunbar happened to be there, so that was a big thrill. Yeah, man.
That's right.
Fun
That's
stuff.
right. Yeah. Those were great. Those were such fun times.
Mhm.
I mean, fondest memories were those and the NAMM show autograph sessions we used to do with all you guys. And
that was amazing. It was like a big wedding. It's like everybody's at the table there. Just
I know.
it was huge. It was the biggest thing ever, man. And I mean, I'll never forget Armin. Oh, he was great too. He was funny. He goes, "Kid, you know who you remind me of? Clark Gable." Clark Gable. Where'd that come from, man? It's great. It's funny. Yeah.
I know. He just, just had a heavenly birthday 2 days ago, February 18th.
Bless you, Armin.
I know, bless him. I think about him all the time. Oh man, yeah. Hey,
What a
Bob
legend.
Terry.
Yeah.
Bob Terry is watching, and he said Joe's Memorial was a great night. Nice to see you there, John.
Oh, hey, Bob. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, Bob. Me too, buddy. Sending you big love and love from me and Johnny T. And yeah, it's good to see Bob watching.
Yeah, man.
No, but I was going to try to find a picture, and I should have got it ahead of time, but I'll post it up later. But I know there's a picture of you as part of one of the big autograph groups in those days.
Probably next to Kenny Aronoff, something,
Yeah.
Grabbing my ass or something. Kenny was such a toucher.
Kenny, yeah, or it's like tackling you or tackling.
Oh, always,
you
yeah. It's always something.
Yeah, headlock. But I was just going to say the great thing about those was like you'd be there and Kenny and Abe Cunningham and Steve Gadd and Travis Barker, like every drummer of every genre. Yeah, it was
unbelievable.
Yeah, it never felt like it's all just rock guys or it's all just jazz guys or it's
Yeah, man, it was just a great blend of players. I mean, that's the thing about Zildjian. I mean, companies, and it's so diverse within sounds itself. So from rock to jazz or anything. So yeah. I miss those days, man. The NAMM show, huh? Is that going to happen again?
Well, I know they're going to do it in June for 2 or 3 days, and early June in Anaheim.
Oh, they are. Okay, that's what I heard. Yeah.
You'll probably be on the road at that point, but I don't know. I don't know if I don't know that it's ever going to be what it was.
No, especially back in the days, huh?
Yeah. I know those were those were really special, fun times, and I think I think the best what that to me demonstrated was just how drummers are unique from like any other musician in terms of just how we all hang with each other. Yeah.
Oh man, we're the coolest. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
You don't see singers getting together like that. No offense, but no, Rodney. No offense. All right.
No offense.
You must have stepped on that duck. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, we talk about this stuff all the time, but it's really true that you'd never see 100 guitar players like hanging like that at a NAMM show signing autographs. It's.
Sure.
Well, I know you, but it wouldn't be the same thing.
Not
by a stretch, but yeah. I hope those days. I hope some semblance of that can come back in the future where we can all.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Did you ever go to? Were you part of the old NAMM, the original in Chicago?
Yeah.
That's where it started, right? Yeah. How was that? It was a bit smaller, wasn't it?
Well, actually, you know what, John? That used to be that NAMM summer show in Chicago was the big show. In the when I started in the early 80s, going to that show, that was a huge show at McCormick Place. And the winter show was the smaller show.
Oh.
Yeah. And the last year they had it, I can tell you this, the last year they had it in Chicago, 1990, it was the combination of if you remember, we were kind of, the economy was a little bit down. We hit like a recession in 89. And 1990, it was they called it the Wake on the Lake, because there was no one there at that summer show. Like it just, for some reason, the attendance just dropped off. They skipped it the next year, 1991. And then 1992, they tried having it at Atlantic City. And I went to the show that year, and the two people representing Zildjian that year were me and Lenny DeMusio.
Lenny, there you go. Oh boy. in Atlantic City.
In Atlantic City, yeah.
All right.
And rest his soul, Lenny. Oh my God, he was so funny. We saw the whole exhibit. We saw within a couple of hours. We didn't exhibit there ourselves. We walked around and sort of were like on recon for the company. And Lenny was like, after about lunchtime, he's like, Johnny, what do you say we go hit one of the casinos, you know, and it was like, that was the extent of our weekend in Atlantic City, was like a couple hours at the show and then boom.
Oh
We're,
man, he was
yeah.
so cool. I remember going to a
Uh,
Steve Smith clinic in yeah, in Westchester County over there, and he was like, come on, hang out." He was at the bars, just telling the stories and everything. He was,
yeah,
man, what he was so cool.
he
He
was
was like the
so cool.
original A&R guy, wasn't he?
He was, yeah,
Right?
he wrote the book, man. He was the one
Yeah.
that we all learned from, you know, and
Hmm.
we're still, I mean, I think anybody, whether they're at Zildjian or anywhere, they're still learning from Lenny, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
He paved the way. That's for
he
sure.
paved the way. He set the
Yeah.
bar that
Hmm.
high, and you know, I mean, like him and Armin, I'll just say that I've said this a million times, but you learn from example, and I would see the way they would um, just interact with you, or you know, drummers, and I think they just made everybody always feel equally welcome and loved.
Yes,
You know, it wasn't,
absolutely.
you didn't have to be Buddy Rich to be on Armin's radar or Lenny's
Yeah.
radar. You know,
Exactly, man. That's what made me feel so comfortable with, honestly.
yeah,
It's a nice feeling when you have that, just the love and support and all.
yeah, absolutely. And
Mhm.
but I know it. But anyway, the Chicago show,
Oh,
I went there for many years, and it was like the big show, and then all of a sudden it just flipped, and the Winter NAMM show became bigger, and they had to expand and get like a bigger space, because it used to be in a smaller place, and they just kept expanding that facility, and now
mhm.
until it became what it became, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first time I went, it was when Charlie did his signing. I was working for Charlie. So that was in 88, I want to say. And that was what I have a photo. Dante was in town and Marco, and we met Steve Gadd walking through the lobby there. It's like, Steve Gadd, we're going to take a photo. So,
I
and
think,
there's a
you
photo
know,
somewhere. Yeah.
yeah, I think I saw him that year. Was he with, you probably don't remember, was he with Jerry Ricky from Long
Mm,
Island Drum Center? I think he was.
I don't know, man.
They were sort of like hanging. They were together like a lot, I think, at that show. And I remember Jerry introducing me to him, and I'd met him one
Mhm.
time before, a long time before that. But and he's like, "Hey, man," you know, like Steve. He's Steve.
That was good.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, man. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Well, buddy, listen. This has been a blast. It's
Oh
it's.
man, it was a lot of fun, and thanks for having me, John. And
Oh,
honestly, I hope to
absolutely.
see you soon. I want to come see you play, actually, so that'd be fun.
Oh, I don't know if you careful what you wish for. That
Oh,
could be.
come on, man. You're a smoking drummer, man. That'd be a lot of fun. Get all the
I
boys
would.
together. Get
That would be fun.
McGathy, we get Sorensen, we'll get them all. We'll get Paul Francis. Bring them
Get
out, man.
we'll get the band back together. Yeah.
Let's get the band back together. We'll get Sarah, we'll get Emily, we're gonna get Bob W, we're gonna get Tina Clark. They're flying over for it too. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll switch the drums
Kirsten.
around, and you guys can all play, and I'll just hang. I'll
All
just
right.
watch.
Amory too. I love Amory. I
Anne
miss her.
Marie. Oh yeah, yeah.
Kirsten. Yeah, they're all great, man. Honestly. So.
And don't forget the Fonz, Joe Testa.
Oh,
Fonzie.
Joey boy. Joey's my boy. It's funny because my middle name is Joseph. So, and it's like, look, John Joseph Tempesta. There it is. We could be related, Joe.
It could be.
Yeah,
Chances are,
great guy.
chances are.
The Fonz. Did
The
I come up with
Fonz.
that, or I forget?
That was that. I keep talking about Steve, but the quick story is he was with us on one of those Mission from Gad tours, and
Right.
because he was with Yamaha at the time, and we're having dinner with I think it was Fork's Drum Closet, Gary Forkham and his guys in Nashville, and Steve and I are sitting here, and Joe's across the table, and it was late, and Steve was tired, and he said, whispers in my ear, "What do you say we get Fonzie over here?" And across, he points to Joe, Fonzie, and get the fuck out of here, or something. And so the
Hey.
Fonz just stuck.
Oh yeah, it's perfect, man. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, Joe takes it in stride.
Well, we should definitely get the band back together. That'd be fun, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you will stay in touch, and
Yeah,
when I know you're going to be out this way, I'm going to come see you. I would love
definitely, man. Absolutely, man. Well, keep up the great work. I love your podcast. I watch it all the
that.
time,
Thanks,
and
John.
the Charlie page is amazing. So,
Thanks,
man,
brother.
it really
Thanks.
it was a lot of fun. And say hi to Kelly for me and everyone. Okay.
I will, buddy. I will. Thank you for being here today too. And
My pleasure.
this is great. Hang tight if you would. I'm going to put you in the.
Sure.
I'm going to end the broadcast, and then
Mhm.
we'll say goodbye in the waiting room.
You got it.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Big hand for John Tempesta.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Everybody's clapping. I can see all the the love.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, Johnny.